Hello everyone, welcome to CORRdapya TV. If you're new to my channel, my name is Cor and I'm your business nurse from Southeast England. Before we will start the vlog for the day, a big thank you to my subscribers. If you are new here to my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. In today's vlog, I'm happy to grant one of the most requested topics on my YouTube channel, which is my experience when I was a senior carer and my transition towards becoming a qualified nurse here in the UK. So before we are going to proceed to our vlog for the day, everything that you will hear is based on my opinion according to my personal experience when I was working as a senior carer. So let me share to you first what are the challenges I encountered when I work as a senior carer. So I will be citing four major things which I think that I struggled when I started my career as a senior carer here in the UK. First on my list is communication. I know that a lot of you would agree that it is a challenge to communicate effectively, especially if you come from a country where English is not the primary language. If you have been watching a lot of British films or you have heard from a British actor in a movie, do not expect that the accent you will hear are all the same. Because here in the UK, there are several accents that you will encounter, and among those are the proper British English, Irish accent, and Scottish. So from experience, since I worked in Belfast, Northern Ireland when I was a senior carer, so the accent there is Irish. So I struggled a lot understanding what my colleagues are saying or what my residents are trying to tell me because of the accent. It took me, I think, few months to really understand the way they talk because every time they say something to me, I would always say, "Pardon, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I don't understand." So that was one of my struggles. For example, let me just share something. I'm not really good at imitating the accent, but example, can you go upstairs? Upstairs. So that's upstairs. Going upstairs. Then you will be working today downstairs. Downstairs. It's like, what's downstairs? Downstairs. What else? What are you doing right now? It's like right now means right now. You will be encountering a lot of unfamiliar terms because our English in the Philippines is basically American English. But here in the UK, since we are in the UK, the terms that are used is based on British English. So for example, cabinet in the Philippines, in American English, is not cabinet here, it is cupboard. Cupboard. And I haven't heard of that before. And then there's penny, spending a penny. So one of my residents told me that I want to spend a penny. And I was like, what is she trying to say? She wants to spend a penny. So I was thinking, maybe she needs money. So, but spending a penny means doing, using the toilet for urination, like that. And then when I was doing my personal care to one of my residents, they were saying about the trousers. And I was like, trousers? What is trousers? I'm just trying to figure it out through their actions. But trousers means pants. In American English, we call it pants, but for them, it's trousers. And then there's knickers. And it's like, what is knickers? I can only imagine knickers as sneakers, the chocolate, but knickers means underpants. Knickers, underwear. So that is knickers. So it took me a while to really familiarize myself with those terms, but eventually you will learn because you will encounter all those words every day. So apart from having difficulty in understanding the accent, and because of my unfamiliarity towards common terms here in the UK, I also struggled when it comes to saying the time. So people here in the UK have the habit of saying the time in a most complicated way. So for example, in American English, if someone asks you, what time is it now? And your response is 4:15. But here, your response would be 4:15. All right? So if someone asks you, the American time is 4:50, 4:50. Your response would be 10 to 4, 10 to 4, right? So if in American time it's 4:30, your answer should be half 4. So you see how complicated is that? Initially I feel stupid when someone tells me about the time. I even take a pause to absorb it so that I have the correct time. And honestly speaking, until now that I'm a nurse, when I take phone calls from healthcare professionals, especially when it comes to setting appointments, and if they tell me, for example, the appointment is 10 minutes to 2, and I was like, 10 minutes to 2, okay, that's 1:50. You see? But eventually you will get used to it. So in order for you to avoid this problem, my tip for you is to do your research. Familiarize yourself with the common terms that you will encounter if you're planning to work here in the health and social care. Another challenge that I've encountered when I work as a senior carer was unfamiliarity of the equipment used in the care home. Examples of the equipment that you will encounter are standing hoist, full body hoist, sling, slide sheet, Zimmer frame, three-wheeled walker, four-wheeled walker, and air mattress. But don't you worry, you will not be able to handle this equipment not unless you undergo a training called moving and handling. I'm sharing this to you so you will have an idea what are the basic healthcare equipment that you will encounter here in the UK. Because honestly, I don't have any knowledge about those equipment apart from the air mattress which I have encountered when I used to work in the Middle East. The third difficulty that I have experienced was leading the team, which is the primary role of a senior carer. At first, I really struggled in making the people follow because being a senior carer, it is your responsibility to manage a group of carers, to delegate the tasks, and to monitor the effectiveness of care. Nurses will usually put pressure on the senior carers to make sure that all the tasks are accomplished. For example, complete documentation for hourly checks, positioning charts, food and fluid charts, and personal care. To be honest, it can be quite intimidating at first because as a senior carer, your role is to delegate the tasks and then you will have to do monitoring and you will do some follow-up, especially that you are new staff and you come from a foreign country. People might think that you are bossing them around when in fact you are just doing your job. Apart from that, since you will be working in a diverse environment, you will be working alongside with either the locals or other foreigners, so you will encounter different work ethics and attitudes. So speaking of work ethics and attitude, let me share some of my experiences to you. This will serve as an eye-opener for everyone that is planning to work here in the UK. But there's a good chance that you will experience this. Some of the unforgettable experiences that I had were, number one is losing my patience. I used to work with heavy smokers, and they were taking a lot of illegal breaks to smoke. And there was a time when I lose my patience. I had it because I was left on the floor for several times attending to call bells. So what I did, I went to the smoking area and confronted the people and I told them off. It's like, why do you left me alone in the floor answering all the call bells when you were just here taking your break, which is not really the legal break? So they were just laughing at me and they told me, just chill, just relax. You're so stressed. Imagine the reaction. Another experience that I had was the time when I got so angry and upset towards the care staff because the delegation of tasks was not respected. So we have a resident who has a strict routine. So she has to be washed and dressed at 11 in the morning and she should be transferred in her wheelchair at half 11 to get ready for lunch. So what happened on that day was the resident was really upset because it was already past 11 in the morning and she was not yet washed. So what I did, I looked for the staff whom I assigned that resident to. So to my surprise, I found the carer doing a job that she's not assigned to do. So being a confrontational person I am, what I did was I told her, why are you doing this task when you're not assigned to do this? And you are supposed to be in one resident doing the washing and dressing. And she is acting like innocent. And I told her, you are aware about it because I assigned it earlier during the morning that you are going to do this resident. And I told her, you should have told me that you don't want to do her so that I could have assigned another person to do it or I could have done it, you know? And because I'm really angry at that time, I was shouting, maybe. Or maybe my voice was just louder. So I caught the attention of the manager. So don't follow what I did. In any type of job, you have to learn how to control your anger and manage your stress. So what happened after the confrontation? I did the job. I took over because that's who I am. But it shouldn't be like that. You know, if you have delegated a task, it should be followed and respected by your colleagues. But then when I was doing the washing and dressing of that resident, I was crying, not because I was upset, but more on I was furious and fuming. But after that commotion, it seems like nothing happened. Back to normal programming. We have to move on. But then that conflict was addressed by our manager. So the last major difficulty that I have encountered when I was a senior carer, and I think it remains applicable until now for all the healthcare workers here in the UK, is the shortage of staff. So there were a lot of instances that we are short of staff because we cannot stop the people from calling in sick. So what the management tends to do is that they will contact whoever is on day off, or they will try to book an urgent staff from the agency. However, what happens when you work with staff from the agency is that you will be ending up with more responsibilities because you have to monitor them from time to time. And aside from that, they are not really familiar with the residents, so they are not fully aware of their risks and their needs. So now let's proceed on the positive side of being a senior carer, basing on my personal opinion. My experience as a senior carer made me appreciate more the concept of elderly care, because back home, we have very limited institution that provides care for the elderly. Unlike here in the UK, they have solid social care sector. In fact, they are heavily regulated. They have laws and policies protecting the elderly group because they are considered as vulnerable people in the community. It also made me realize that being a care worker, it is a rewarding job. Yes, it is. But it can be one of the toughest and the most humbling jobs you could ever have. It takes a lot of patience, humility, compassion, and endurance in order to become one. The second learning that I have gained from the experience was that it molded my leadership skills. So as what I have mentioned before, the primary role of a senior carer is to lead a team of carers. So in order to fulfill the role, you should have a basic understanding of what are the responsibilities of a carer. You should know how to delegate tasks, and you should have a good decision making. Yes, at first it can be challenging, but eventually you will learn the tricks of the trade of being a senior carer. My ultimate win from my experience as a senior carer is that it helped me to pursue my nursing career. Not only it helped me financially, but the experience prepared me physically, mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. Now let me share to you my transition from being a senior carer and now a qualified nurse here in the UK. So I have been receiving messages and comments on my YouTube videos asking me about my transition and how did I manage to work on my NMC requirements whilst I was working as a senior carer, and they're asking if it's possible. Yes, it is possible, even though you are in a senior carer's contract. So what I did when I applied for the role is I informed my employer that I am a registered nurse in the Philippines, and I expressed to them my desire on pursuing my nursing career here in the UK. So they are already aware about it at the beginning. Alright? So before I started my work as a senior carer, 3 months before that, I took my first OET in the UK. And unfortunately, I did not pass the writing component. So what I did, I pursued the job on October 2018. And then along the way, I have been self-studying in preparation for the English exam. And so I booked my second OET on March 2019. And regrettably, I failed again the writing exam, but I didn't lose hope. Never. I'm a fighter. So after that March 2019, I rebooked again for the third time around for my OET, and that was on May 2019. And luckily, I passed on my third attempt for the OET. But I already did 2 IELTS academic in the Philippines, but I also failed the writing component of these examinations. Then 3 OET in the UK. On the third attempt, I was able to pass it. So I passed the OET on May 2019. So immediately after I passed my OET, I booked for my CBT, which was July 2019. So I asked permission from my manager to give me 2 weeks holiday to prepare for the said exam. Lucky enough, I was able to pass the CBT in 1 take. So after I passed my CBT exam, I gathered all the needed requirements for the NMC. So July up to August, I was completing all the requirements like the NBI clearance. I went to the Philippine Embassy in London to accomplish that requirement. I also made a special power of attorney for my sister to process the verification of my license in the Philippines. Then, in September 2019, I received my decision letter from the NMC. Because I was too excited, I immediately informed my line manager that I already got my decision letter from the NMC so that they can enroll me to OSCE courses right away. So by October 2019, I was already attending OSCE trainings. So the OSCE training lasted for almost a month, but it wasn't done consecutively. So from October until November 2019, we have training days and study days. And in between those days, I'm still functioning as a senior carer on the floor. So by first week of December 2019, they booked me for an OSCE exam in Ulster University. And then on the second week, I received my result and I got my NMC pin. So that was my transition from being a senior carer then becoming a qualified nurse here in the UK. So for those nurses out there who are struggling to complete the NMC requirements to become a UKRN, and you are considering to take the senior carer role in order to enter the UK, as long as you are up for the challenge, I will never discourage you to pursue this career because we have different circumstances in life. So if you think that this is a good stepping stone for you to achieve your dreams, then go for it. So hopefully I have shared a good content to you today. And if you feel that this information will benefit other people, especially those who are aiming to work here in the UK as a senior carer or as a nurse here in the UK, please do share this video or tell your friends to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for spending your time listening to me today, and I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye!